G'day Internet, Max right here, and just a really quick video here. I know I haven't made one for a while, and just kind of watching things around. Went to the Bitcoin conference, had a lot of fun, made some new friends, caught up with a bunch of old friends, paid attention to what was going on there, and really, my concern is that the macro situation is the elephant in the room here. Um, all the Bitcoin fundamentals are looking good. All the crypto fundamentals are looking good. The space is growing. The venture capital money is coming in. New products are getting built. New services, new applications. Things are happening in a very, very good way. The legal stuff, I guess, yeah, the legal framework for Bitcoin is happening really well. Actually, and I heard one interesting argument there. I'll share with you before I get onto the macro news here and my expectations, because I do have a pretty scary warning to share with you right now. And I'll get to that in a minute. Um, so, with regards to the legal framework, an argument I hadn't heard before, and I subscribe to it, it's quite a good one, is that if a politician were to make a piece of legislation anti-Bitcoin, they would really, really, really piss off a lot of Bitcoiners, and there are a lot of us here in the USA, tens of millions. Um, but in doing so, would people who aren't interested in Bitcoin, would they care? Would they know? Would they understand? So a politician is not incentivized to do anything against Bitcoin because there's no upside for them. They might get bribe money from banks and that kind of thing. Of course, there might be things like that, and it just fits into the whole picture of the New World Order and all that good stuff. So there's that thing that they might get benefit from. But in terms of getting voted, like no, there's no citizen out there who's like, "Yay, ban Bitcoin." I mean, it's just no one cares. No one endorses that piece of legislation. So politicians are very much encouraged to be pro Bitcoin and come out publicly. If they do it, they get a huge benefit from marketing and headlines, and like an entire community gets around them because a lot of Bitcoiners are single issue voters. It's like, if you're pro Bitcoin, you're good. If they're not, you're out. You're dead to me. Just like that. So that was an interesting perspective, and I think it's absolutely true. And I think it's very, very good things for Bitcoin as a result of the legal framework. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about this chart really quickly. This is the DXY, so it's the dollar strength. And we've been following this for a while. When the dollar strength goes up, that's an indication that things are moving down. The crypto market and indeed the stock market is going down. And so this is kind of foretells us that stuff. And we've been watching. We talked about this W pattern like a long time ago, and I used this W pattern to predict this move up here, saying that when the DXY goes from 93 up to 100, the consequence of that is going to be that the stock market and Bitcoin and all the cryptocurrency markets are going to be down, and that is indeed exactly how it played out. And just in the last week or so, I think we were right about here when I said, we're going up for a fourth retest on this very important line. If it punches through, expect it to be a really, really bad time in crypto and the stock market. And the last 4 or 5 days certainly has been. So, but that pattern has played out now, and nothing is really jumping off the table at me as something to be aware of to know right here. But I think we're in the middle. So to pre-frame this, what I'm about to share with you is when there's a macro event bigger than what you're used to, the day-to-day grind of the DXY went up, or even a significant event like Russia invaded Ukraine, like it's a significant event. But when there's a bigger macro shock than that, nothing else matters. Like, despite the fact that all these things are great in the crypto world, my long-term view of crypto is just ridiculously bullish. When there's a macro shock, when whatever that might be, like think March 2020 with the COVID lockdown. Before that, you got to go back to 2008, pardon me, which was pre-Bitcoin time. But what did it do to the stock market and the real estate market? When those things happen, nothing else matters. Like, it doesn't matter how many people are coming to Bitcoin and how many companies are getting started, what the network effects are. You're gonna get a punch in the guts on the price. That's just gonna happen. And my opinion is we are just getting closer and closer to that day every single day. And I think we are very, very close. And I have to say, I'm excited by it because I'm extremely long-term bullish on Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. I just want to buy more of everything, right? But not a silly person. I also want to get it the best price I can. So right now, I'm actually sitting on a ton of cash, just a ton of cash. I still have plenty of crypto. I have way more than 50% of my portfolio in crypto. And I know genuinely believe, about 50% will get knocked off. The price will just get smacked 50% coming up here in the next little bit. You might think that's silly, but there's a lot to it. A, I could be wrong. B, Bitcoin could just turn around and skyrocket off and just like double, and then you're like, oh my God, I sat on the sidelines like an idiot. What am I doing? And third, it's so important to understand that crazy things can happen, and when if there is a big macro shock, if there are troubles, if there are wars breaking out, inflation is running wild, interest rates are going up, is that going to cause a huge crash? All that stuff going on, desperate governments do desperate things, and can banks go insolvent? Absolutely. Could the money in the bank go? Could I lose that? Absolutely. Can a whole bunch of things happen? Absolutely. I think it's absolutely unforgivable for any person to not have any cryptocurrency. I just think that's crazy. You have to have some at all times. So I never, ever, ever am completely out. But nonetheless, I am in I'm in the biggest cash position I've been in many years. And I am waiting for an opportunity. And I think we could get a ridiculously good buying opportunity here soon. I think there could be a really nasty macro shock that's going to send stocks down, crypto down, and a whole bunch of things down. And I will be there waiting to press that buy button. I think we might see Bitcoin in the 20s again, 20 something, and maybe even go down all the way to $20,000 Bitcoin. What that would mean to alts, probably down 60, 70%. Right? So I hold very, very few alts right now. I hold plenty of Bitcoin because I believe, as I said earlier, you got to have crypto. But I'm sitting with an enormous cash position right now, waiting to jump in hard. And it will be quick. So my money's all there, set up on the exchanges, ready to rock. Because when it comes quick. It's not going to loiter. Like, let's go and have a look. Let's go and have a look at some of these big crashes here. So let's go to COVID. We'll go back to COVID 2019. I'll put the weekly on. So we'll get there a little quicker. And what you'll see is just the graph just drops off before coming up. Like this type of event. What is this? This is 10,000 Bitcoin all the way down to 3,750 Bitcoin, right? 60% plus drop off. This happened, there's a weekly chart. This happened in the space of 3 weeks. But look, in a really short amount of time, 8 weeks later, it was back to $10,000. And if you haven't got your exchange set up and you haven't got your money set up, like to catch this wick down here, it's only down here for like a couple of days, right? So the bottom 20, 30% of this is only for a couple of days. So I just wanted to point that out, that I expect a long, long wick down, and I think crypto will come back roaring. I mean, absolutely roaring. But I think we need to have a capitulation. We need to get rid of the last weak hands, because the on-chain metrics are phenomenal. Like, strong hands are accumulating Bitcoin. And when we get this last flush of weak hands, we clear out some of the excessive leverage in Asia. We clear out some of this nonsense. The strong hands, and I will be one of them, will just be yanking coins off of exchanges, putting them in cold storage, never to be seen again. And although I'm expecting a cataclysmic 50% or so drop in crypto prices, I can totally see all-time highs by the end of the year as well. Like, I think it's going to come roaring back. So there's if that's the case, from trough to peak, you're talking a 5x in about 6-7 months. All right, so it's going to be an amazing opportunity if it plays out the way I think. I will keep you informed of that. You guys know I make a lot less videos than I usually do, but I thought this was a really important one. I wanted to give you a heads up about where my head's at, what I'm thinking, what I'm doing. And yeah, you remember, not investment advice. You do you. But I just wanted to let you know the macro landscape is very, very questionable to me. And there was a gentleman, who was it? What was his name? A lot of people were just very, very bullish at the conference. And I was just with the same mentality. I was just like, I'm excited by the news. I'm long-term bullish, yes. There was one gentleman who on stage agreed with me. and he was on stage with Jeff Booth, but it wasn't Jeff Booth, it was another Jeff. What was his name? It was a doctor. Dr. Jeff something. If you know his name, let me know in the comments below. But he agreed with me, and I found it very interesting. And not too many people did. I think that's a contrarian opinion at present. But that's my opinion. Just want to let you know if you wanted to go and research it or something. You could, maybe there's someone else you can listen to as well. But that's where I'm at with this. And yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Just so you know, not a good time to be in leverage positions, I would say. And if you can buy and hold out for 6 months, you're going to be absolutely fine. So don't stress, and always have some crypto. I think it's extremely negligent not to. But if you are thinking about buying today, I would probably wait. I think you will get a much better price here in the near future. All right, if you like this idea, this concept, let me know in the comments below. If you think it's a terrible idea, let me know that too. What am I missing? What piece of information is drastically missing? Yeah, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys soon.